Hey all, this is Ron, 5 Minute Gardener. I'm going to do something a little different today. I'm going to transplant this plant out of this corner of the garden. It is right off the edge of our walkway, and it looks like it's getting to be kind of a bully. Now, I'm not really certain. I've always had a hard time with some of the chrysanthemums, but I believe this one is called Tanacetum parthenium, and it was formerly chrysanthemum parthenium according to the Sunset Western Garden Book. Let's find out. It says it has really peppery smelling foliage. Yeah, I don't know about peppery, more perfumey. Anyway, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to take this through the phases. You can see the flowers here. I think I showed you those. They're really pretty little ray type flowers. It's a composite. So what I'm going to do here is take this through the steps. I'm going to cut this back to the ground, and then dig it up, prepare another hole, and plant it. We'll transplant it into another planting hole. It's pretty foliage, but it's just turning into a real bully here. So it's time, I think, to move it out and let something else come in here that'll work. And we'll see how it goes. And I'm going to move it to another shady spot. Also, we'll see how that goes, because it seems to be working all right here. I'm not sure if it's a little chlorotic or if that's actually its natural foliage color. It's a little bit on the yellow around the edges, and maybe you can see some of these leaves starting to show a little bit of interveinal chlorosis. So when I prepare the new planting hole, I'll add some fertilizer and some compost to it, and we'll take it from there. All right. Okay, so now you can see I've pruned this all back, and I just used a pair of hand pruners here. This is a spreading plant. It's aggressive. I mentioned it being a bully. Here's a piece that I'd pruned out, and you can see here this stem that it was running along. See if I can get some light on that here. Down here at the bottom, the stem that it was running along, and there's another one over here amongst the dead leaves. Let me pull those out. There we go. That gives you kind of a good view of how this goes. So it roots as it goes as well. So it is aggressive. So it just needs a better home. We'll see if we can find one of those in another spot in the yard. And also, like I said, I'm not sure. I said what I thought this is. Let me pull my note back out, because it's not a plant I'm really familiar with. Tanacetum parthenium. And if anybody knows otherwise, you saw a picture of the flowers. If anybody knows otherwise, I would gratefully appreciate somebody chiming in and let me know what it really is. Thanks. And we'll be back for the next section. We're back. So I've chosen this spot. This is Suriname cherry, one of the syzygiums. And it makes great fruit, by the way. And I've chosen this spot underneath the syzygium. And I've dumped a small pail of, or actually just a shovel full of compost, and a little handful of a complete fertilizer. It's 6-24-24, so it's 6% nitrogen, 24% phosphorus, 24% potassium, with a little bit of iron and a little bit of sulfur. So now I'm going to dig that in, and I'll show you the way I like to do it. Let me find a place to put this tripod and still have it in the works. There we go. So instead of digging a hole and then, yeah, there we go. I think instead of digging a hole and then fertilizing the stuff on top, I like to just put the pile down, and I'm adjusting again, and that's why it's shaking. So this is my first time doing this by myself like this, all handheld with a tripod. So anyway, bear with me. So anyway, I like to put a little pile down and then just work around it, and the soil that comes out of the hole is already amended. So all I'm doing is just cutting around the hole. Soil, I'm not putting a lot of compost in, because the soil here, I've been amending this soil for years. It's a silty loam, and it's really good gardening soil. And we've had lots of rain, so I don't know if you can tell how dark it is. It's been well watered over the last several weeks here. So that's all I'm doing. So this soil now is well enough amended. The fertilizer's mixed in, the compost is mixed in, and I just raked all the leaf litter from the Suriname cherry out of the way. We leave most of the leaf litter on the ground, and that's another reason the soil around here is so nice, because of the organic material that just works its way into the soil. And one of these days I'll do my little pitch on using leaf litter and the three stages of organic material breaking down into the soil. So anyway, in the meantime, let me just dig this. We'll dig it out a little bit here. I'm not thinking that mum cousin, I think it's feverfew is the common name for that, assuming I got the right genus and species. It's not going to be very deep. It's kind of a spreading perennial. And let me take you over to it and we'll go dig that out. Let me show you another one. Here's one. I think you can see it there. That's it's self-sown. So that's one thing they do, and that's how this one came about. The one we're going to go dig out over here was also self-sown. Another part in the yard, and I just saved it and put it over here. And it's just too much plant for this corner. I guess I didn't realize just how big it's going to get. So I'm just going to work my way right around it with the shovel. Knock some of the leaf litter out of the way here. Got a big Japanese maple, and it makes copious amounts of leaf litter. And instead of throwing all that away, you just use it. Just lay it down thick in the beds, and you just use it for other spots. So I'm just taking this by the shovelful, lift it right out, and we'll go back to where we were. And I'm just going to set this right in the hole. Get you lined up a little bit there so you can see. That's a little low. I'll just put a little soil in. Again, it's already amended. And I'll just work some soil around underneath the root ball, press it in hard with my fingers. And then I even like to use the handle of the shovel just to compact it well. I think people make a big mistake by not compacting soil really well once they've planted something. And I'm not even going to worry about building a little ring around it. The soil's plenty moist. And I'll take the rest of this soil over here that came out of the hole, and we will use that for filling in the other hole. Hang on, I'm gonna pull you out of the tripod there, and there it is, finished product. I can even step it down around the edges using my foot. And then I'll come back and rake that, clean it up, and I'll move some of that leaf litter back in under it. And we are all done. Transplant 101. There we are, leaf litter raked back in around it, and it's all set to go. And now I'll give it a good drink of water. Even though the soil's wet, I'll just help water it in, help settle the roots in. And also by compacting well and watering it in well, it helps eliminate any big air pockets around the roots. And I've always used the analogy, it's a little like, and this is where it was now. I just took that soil that came out of the hole that was extra and filled it in. So we are done and ready for posting. And we'll see y'all next time. This is Ron, the 5-Minute Gardener. Thanks for looking.